Going across to some breaking news that's coming in. Breaking news coming in. Indian Army sources are telling us that there is a build-up from both sides at the Depsang region of the line of actual control, where it's not too far away from the June 15 conflict region. Army sources confirming that today, on June 24th, there is a tent from the Chinese side that has been put on the LAC. On the LAC at point 14. And this is a new build-up that China is once again trying to create and put pressure on India. The government is measuring what response it needs to give, but the troops present even in Depsang area is virtually meeting the Chinese troop deployment. Srinjoy Chaudhary has the details. Srinjoy.
Yes, as far as the area is concerned, these are pictures that were just taken only 2 days ago, and it's very clear that there are, whatever the Chinese do in that area, there are sufficient number of Indian troops deployed there with sufficient weaponry. So there's really no serious concern as far as the Depsang build-up is concerned, because India has enough troops in the area. That's really the first point. As far as those that infrastructure case you're referring to, that's virtually right on the line of control. We will have to see exactly where it is, whether it's on this side or that side. But certainly, this again was on the 22nd. Which means
Padmaja also has some details. Srinjoy, stay with me. I'm going across to Padmaja. Padmaja, the contention is at point 14. We understand there is a tent that has come up, which is in close vicinity of the line of actual control. The fact that Depsang has also seen some build-up of troops, clearly China continues to provoke India.
Absolutely. So now there are two areas in Ladakh that we're talking about. One is Depsang, but since Srinjoy has already spoken about that place, let me go back to eastern Ladakh and Galwan, which we're talking about. Patrol point 14, which is very, very close to the LAC, and I'm going to quote verbatim from what sources have told us, because this is a sensitive matter. The PLA build-up near where the fight happened, it's very close to the LAC. It was taken on the 22nd. When did the fight happen? It happened on the 15th of this month. Now, sources are telling Times Now, 15th, the tent was gone. And 22nd, which is when this image was taken, this is at Patrol Point 14, where the fight happened between India and China, and where 20 of our men were killed in combat. They have confirmed that Chinese tent is back, and it shouldn't be there. That is the limited information. But yes, at Patrol Point 14, there is a return of Chinese infrastructure. As far as the other build-up is concerned, it's very, very close to the LAC.
Well, thanks, Padmaja. We're also going across to our guest joining us tonight. Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, of course, continues to be with us, as does Tehseen Poonawala. But joining us tonight is Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, defense expert, and Suneet Chopra and Abhijit Iyer Mitra, my friend who has his eyes on the maps virtually all day. So, Abhijit, I want to ask you this new tent that has come. We've seen visuals all evening, and let's take our viewers through those visuals that we've been talking about all evening when you were also on the channel. We've seen that between 15th and today, we had managed to push out all the Chinese troops beyond the line of actual control, and Indians had taken charge of the entire Galwan Valley. We also saw on the Chinese side of this Galwan Valley, where the structures had come up, they had been destroyed on the river, and the free flow of water was taking place. That's also something that we established through those visuals. Abhijit, I want to ask you, these are visuals from the Indian side. We also have visuals coming in from the Chinese side, where clearly they did suffer some amount of casualties, because that's what the satellite imagery showed at that point in time.
So there's two things here, Navika. First of all, is that, I've always said that the LAC has been exactly where you're pointing out right now, in which case the Chinese are in by about 100 meters. But what is important to note is that unlike about where 200 meters into the LAC, on the Chinese side of the LAC, where the structures become what we call pakka structures. Here, the Chinese are building extremely rudimentary, almost Stone Age structures just with tarpaulin on them. And that is quite significant. Number two, if you close in on where the traffic starts coming in and where the building at the edge ends, you will find there's two different gradients there. One where the Chinese have flattened the road out in preparation to lay asphalt, and the other side, which is across the LAC, about 100 meters in, where the Chinese are not laying any asphalt. However, it is very important to note, and I'd like to particularly congratulate my co-panelist and dear friend Tehseen Poonawalla, because, the Congress was saying that, certain Congress spokespersons were saying that the Chinese were about 5 kilometers in. If you put up, if on the screen you can bring up the image with the Indian flags and the Chinese flags quickly, exactly that one. They were saying that the 3 Indian flags there on the closest to the Chinese flag, those were actually Chinese posts. And a certain correspondent known to have family ties with the Congress was saying this. And today, and he corrected an internationally renowned OSINT expert on this. So going by so clearly the Congress now admits that we've pushed the Chinese 5 kilometers back. And I think this is a very powerful moment of national unity where the Congress is completely supporting the Prime Minister in one of our greatest victories since 1949 when the PRC was declared by Mao Zedong. And, I think we should applaud the Congress for coming together with Prime Minister Modi on such an important issue in the pushing back of these troops 5 kilometers in.
Tehseen Poonawalla, would you like to see these pictures up close on the screen? I'll just show you on the big screen here, and you can see that the Indian forces have pushed back about 5 kilometers of the troops that had come in. One tent has reappeared on the LAC, which has appeared after the Lieutenant Generals met on 22nd, and on this, the Indian side is going to respond. But Tehseen Poonawalla, the fact that they've been pushed back and that our Braves have delivered where they needed to, can you stop now doubting the forces?
First of all, I've never ever doubted the forces. None of us ever doubted the forces. And Abhijit is my guru. He taught me how to read satellite images.
China has taken our land.
In 1967, also our forces pushed back China under General Sargat Singh of the Jat Regiment, and we defeated China. So we have absolute faith in our forces. The question that needs to be asked is this: that between Finger 4 and Finger 8 today an asphalt road is created. 1999, when Vajpayee was Prime Minister, they created a Kacha road. Why is it that every time there is a BJP Prime Minister, Chinese enters our territory and manages to create roads? That's the question. The question that needs to be answered is: what was the intelligence failure that led to the martyrdom of 20 people? What was Ajit Doval doing with all his NTRO satellites that he allowed the build-up to happen? Ultimately, this is not a stolen car market.
Tehseen Poonawalla, maybe you could revisit that question of 2013 as well, but let me show you. This is the Galwan Valley, this is the river Galwan, and if you focus here, it's the satellite image shows you the Galwan River, and this is where India has taken back the entire territory. This is a 5-kilometer stretch, and it has been pushed back. The Chinese PLA has been pushed back to this, and this is the line of control, and this is image number 1. Let's take a look at image number 2, and here you will see that the river, which had impediments earlier, those have gone, and the river, you can see it all blue, the flow has started. Let's take a look at the next image. And these 8 images will tell you this is the free flow of water that you can see here, and this is where the Chinese are on their side of the river, and this is on this side of the river, and you can find the definition and the explanation for why China came right up to this river in the 2013 debate that took place in the Lok Sabha, Tehseen Poonawalla, because it's recounted there very well on how the Congress government gave up this entire area in their various engagements with China. So this is very clear. The Indian position here is very clear. Let's take a look at another visual. This is the visual of the Chinese side. And the Galwan river is somewhere this side, and this shows you how they had built up medical facilities for their soldiers who were injured, and this is that area. The next picture will also show you how there are two Mercedes and an ambulance. This is the visual of the Mercedes. This is the ambulance. Let me ask you, Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh. Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, has the Congress party and have these doubters, when they say China has taken our land, are they not doubting the Indian army?
You know, questioning at this critical time, having doubt, asking for evidence, to be honest, it is something that the nation and the soldier would never appreciate this thing. To be honest, this national security matters are sensitive and serious issues. The response is not yet fully given. Conflict is still in progress. And, LAC differences that we've had are there for last 48 years. And to come out with such inputs with insufficient knowledge is actually playing into the hand of Chinese. In fact, once the Prime Minister of the nation has told so clearly that there was no intrusion, no post taken, no change of status, and please remember, it's the sheer, I'll answer you, just wait. For the sheer attempt to alter the status quo.
That's not the official position of India. Prime Minister corrected himself. If you are saying there is intrusion, where did our soldiers
Can you wait?
Is it your official position?
No,
I will not.
Sudhanshu Trivedi, Mr. Tehseen Poonawala is agitated once again. I'm running out of time. 30 seconds to Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi.
As Abhijit Iyer Mitra, who is quite a learned man in this field, he has already given an explanation. If what Tehseen Poonawala's party is saying, that they have come 5 kilometers and they have returned back. So I think this is the biggest humiliating back off of China after 1979 Vietnam War. And he has mentioned about 67 Nathula. Yes, I agree. But when government of India claimed that 400 Chinese soldiers were killed, we never asked. But when international agencies, this is not the government of India, said the 43 were
Absolutely,
killed,
absolutely. At this point in time, I think facts are important, not conclusions, because this is action that is presently on. There is no final word on it. But in the middle of this conflagration, this confrontation, are we actually, by questioning, lowering the morale of our forces, raising doubts in our own citizens? That's the question that we need to really think about, because India's territorial integrity and its sovereignty is not something that should be challenged from within. That's the basic principle that any Indian citizen who is a nationalist will want to follow. I just leave it at that. It's time for introspection for all those doubting Thomases who have been raising these questions. Good night from me as I thank all my panelists. Padmaja up next. Don't go away.